James Cameron has done it again. Avatar: Fire and Ash is without a question one of the most beautiful things I have seen ever on a screen. But after waiting 13 years for the first sequel and another 2 for this one, I realized something. The visuals are not enough anymore. I walked out of the theater feeling conflicted. Let's talk about it. I walked into the theater expecting James Cameron to reinvent Pandora once again. And instead, I got a film that's visually stunning, thematically ambitious, but yet surprisingly uneven. This movie introduces some genuinely bold concepts, new tribes, darker conflicts, and a much more heavier emotional tone than Way of Water. But for every moment that pulls me in, there was another that made me feel like the story was spinning its wheels. And that's the frustrating part, because you can see the greatness trying to break through. I am Chuy, and this is my brutally honest spoiler-free review for Avatar: Fire and Ash. By the way, I want to play a game with you. Each time I say the word visuals, you take a shot or take a sip out of your alcoholic drink. Let's do this. Jake and Neytiri's family grapples with grief after their son's death, encountering a new aggressive Na'vi tribe, the Ash people, who are led by the fiery Verang. As the conflict on Pandora escalates and a new moral focus emerges. Avatar: Fire and Ash was directed by the one and only James Cameron. This is a juggernaut of a series. Avatar 1 is close to making $3 billion, and then Avatar 2 has about $2.3 billion in the box office worldwide. This franchise seems to be unstoppable and clearly soaks up all the money out there. But after seeing this one, I feel that the lack of story and its long runtime might affect the box office on the long term. Then again, being released around Christmas time does really help it out a lot, hence why Avengers Doomsday was moved for next year December. Now we know why. That is a whole different conversation though. And when we think of Avatar, we think of amazing, magnificent visuals. Visuals you can get lost in a theater for hours and hours. Being the third entry though, I wonder if the visuals alone are going to be enough to sustain its large production. Who knows if it's going to make as much as part 1 or part 2 has done, but who knows? Time will tell. And if you agree, maybe please subscribe. If not, let me know why not in the comments below. Fire and Ash is 3 hours and 20 minutes long, and I hate to say this, but unfortunately you can feel its length in the theater. Maybe I'm taking the visuals for granted, but at this point, being a third in the franchise, I need more than just beautiful visuals. Something like a well-crafted story, because the visuals at this point are an automatic given. And trust me, I'm not trying to take away of any of the hard work that they put into these movies at all. But it seems to me that James Cameron is leaning too much on the aesthetic instead of the true world building. Because let me tell you, one song in particular was stuck in the back of my mind the whole time. The one that goes like, you spin my head right around, because yeah, going around. But for now, let me go over everything that worked for this movie. Let me get this out of the way. The visuals are simply too beautiful. This movie is stunning to look at. I saw this one in IMAX 3D, and this is the only franchise that I will bother to pay to see it in 3D in a theater. James Cameron really knows how to utilize the technology here to make the best 3D experience for everyone. But in my opinion, I feel that it was done better in The Way of Water than this one. But nonetheless, the visuals here are worth the admission price. I really liked some dark aspects and the dark tones throughout here. After the death of their son in The Way of Water, Jake and Neytiri are trying to move forward in life. But the human adopted son is taking a huge toll on Neytiri. And so her mindset here is completely understandable. She has a moment of weakness towards him. And there was one particular scene that was actually really suspenseful. And then the introduction of the Ash people. Their leader Verang is simply a badass. She has this tactic to make you speak the truth and to get into your mind as well. And then the way she's able to connect with you and take control was really interesting to watch. Her tribe's home was burned down through a volcano eruption, so everyone in her hometown or her clan has lost all hope and connection with Awa. Talking about Awa, something interesting really happened in this movie with Awa that left me kind of mind blown. It was also a different take seeing the Na'vis actually fight each other instead of fighting other humans. And then of course, the action here. The action here is literally out of this freaking world. I mean, what else do we expect, or do we expect any less from James Cameron? Because everything that he shot or did was just chef's kiss, perfection. And just from that alone, you have a sense that he's having a great time making these movies. I mean, hell, Is it like the last 20 or 25 years from his life? Yeah, long time. To be honest with you though, I really prefer the second half of this movie, or to be exact, the last hour of the movie. Because that's when the story finally realizes what it's trying to do. Which doesn't say much because the whole movie is just recycled bits from part 1 and part 2. Let's talk about that plot. It's not a bad plot, just that a lot of things were already covered in the previous movies. It doesn't really bring anything new to the table aside from the Ash people. And at this point it's just all visuals. Seeing the humans be taken down by the Navis and the whale creatures and everyone around was also great to see. Just like the second movie. And now that I think about it, a lot of things that I was going to list here are just things we have already seen. And that's the point, recycled bits. So on that note, let's go over everything that did not work for this movie. Yes, again, amazing, beautiful visuals. But after this point, at least I crave more storytelling. Because the plot here was messy as hell. Where do I even start? I feel that James Cameron had no idea what to do up until the last hour of the movie. And then it sucks because the one thing that was actually new and interesting, the Ash people, they were pushed to the side to continue with the same old, same old. The same old being, humans want to take over the resources just like the first and second movie. The humans want to capture Spider and Jake just like before. The humans want to kill the whales and take out this yellow liquid that's worth billions of dollars just like the last movie. Their daughter Kiri is trying to figure out who she is and to expand her mindset just like the previous movie. I can go on and on and on. And the one thing that really disappointed me was how they introduced this badass leader from the Ash people, all for them to become side characters, mainly Verang. Because as mentioned before, she is truly a badass. But then they throw that out the window, all to make her become a side chick to someone with high power. They really dethroned her from her high stance and her high priority. What the f? Then we still have that darn colonel that's now a Navi, Miles. I really wish James Cameron would kill him off in the fourth movie. Because with him we just go around in circles to a point where it's just laughable. And then to top it off, we have that character Spider, or the human character Spider. And I really wish he would have died in the second movie. Thanks to him, in this one, there was a lot of death, unnecessary deaths. And then thanks to him, something happens to Neytiri. It stains because she feels a certain way towards him, mainly because of the death of her son in the second movie. And then on that topic, I don't like what they did with Neytiri. They silent her to give space to other characters. It seems to me that James Cameron did not know what to fully concentrate on in this movie. He mainly cared for the aesthetics of it all and for the visuals this time around, instead of making sure that the story was actually consistent. A plot hole that still bugs me even to right now is how Jake was in the military and he should know much better than this. And by this I mean that he should know that if he's trying to transport something from somewhere to another place, there will be surveillance trying to track him down because again, Jake was in the military. And yet knowing this, he lets his family come on board with him into this mission, putting everyone in danger. There are a lot of fluff moments here. This movie had no right on being 3 hours and 20 minutes long. And this is the first time in a while where I see people get up, walk out, and come back, like non-stop. And that's the thing. If people choose to leave and come back, that means that the plot is so thin that they don't care at all as to what is happening. Then, there are moments where it's trying to be suspenseful, but it was all for nothing. And this is directly for the characters or the writers for this movie. Either make the characters actually stick to what they said they were going to do, or do nothing at all, because it's just a waste of time. This movie truly takes you around in circles and circles. The only things that are consistent here are, you guessed it, the visuals and the action. I'm not trying to say this is a bad movie because it's not. It's just that I expected much more from this team, especially from James Cameron. And I mean, after all, it is called Avatar, Fire and Ash. Because of that alone, I was expecting more from the Ash people. I was expecting us to know more about their backstory, their actual environment. Because for example, in Avatar Way of Water, we got more creatures from the water. We got to explore more inside that particular aspect of the world. I just expected to have more time with the Ash people. Maybe give us new creatures, new landscapes, new parts of the world that we have not seen yet. So in conclusion, Avatar Fire and Ash will deliver a great feast for your eyes in the theater. Your mind will be blown away by how everything in this world is so beautiful. And by how everything looks so perfect on the biggest screen possible for this movie specifically. Thanks to those visuals, of course. Just don't expect for the world to expand from more than what you already know. Which is nothing bad if all you care about is the Avatar experience. And if that's the case, then this movie's for you. But if you want something more than just the visuals, then please lower your expectations before you walk into this movie. By the way, if you've taken all of your shots and if you sip on all of your drinks, then for sure now is the best time to go see this movie in theater. You will have a much better time. This all leads me to my rating for this film, and for this one, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. This is still the true cinematic experience in theater. I recommend going on a Tuesday or earlier on a day when it's cheaper, or just go use your membership for the theater if you have one like me. I have one for Regal. Well, thank you for your time today, my cinematic family. Please hit the subscribe button, maybe the like button if you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on Avatar Fire and Ash if you've seen it already or if you plan on seeing it. I am Chuy, and this is Chuy Cinematic Talk. Take care. I'll see you next time.